So Canada's small businesses are no longer able to ship small packages to the U.S. duty-free. That de minimis exemption, as it was known, allowed goods under $800 U.S. to enter the country without extra fees. That has ended. President Donald Trump signed an executive order revoking that exemption in July. That means those shipments will now be subject to duties of up to $200 U.S., depending on where they're coming from. Canadians can still send letter, mail, and gifts under $100 U.S. for no extra cost. Also, the companies that meet the Canada-U.S.-Mexico trade agreement will, at least in theory, still be able to ship duty-free. Our next guest owns a business that is being affected by those duty-free changes. Caroline Sommerfeld is the founder and CEO of Ancient Arts Fibre Crafts. They specialize in selling artisan hand-dyed yarns. Caroline, thanks for joining us. How are these tariffs and these changes going to impact your business?
Oh, it's going to be extremely impactful. There is a lot of chaos, there is a lot of uncertainty, and the fees are going to be crippling.
When you say crippling, like having to shut down your business?
So I'm lucky enough in that my business has been around for enough years that I've got a diverse market. But I know that a lot of the people in the community of yarn sellers that I belong to depend tremendously on the United States for their sales. In our case, it's going to hurt us. And then I may end up having to lay staff off. I may have to pivot my business and so on, because in my case, 20% of our overall sales are to the U.S., but my online sales are 50% to the U.S. Other businesses in my area, that could be as much as 90%. So companies like myself are going to shrink, and we're going to find it very hard to continue on.
You mentioned some of the other businesses perhaps you've been chatting with. What are they facing?
It's a hard one for all of us because there is no proper setup system for people, particularly if they have rural businesses, to be able to ship into the U.S. and collect tariffs up front. We can't ship and leave the tariffs to the United States. We have to collect them on our end and remit them. So large shipping companies like UPS and FedEx will charge a large amount of brokerage, which basically completely destroys any profit in the shipping. Smaller shipping companies can do it, but there is a brokerage fee. However, a brokerage fee that's manageable, but however, they are not available to small companies outside of major cities. In our case, we still have to put in a lot of extra effort to fill out paperwork, and there's a lot more labor that goes into shipping.
And what have you and other yarn companies been able to do, if anything, to prepare for this over the past few weeks?
It's been a struggle because none of the companies that we would ship with were prepared for this. So, for example, a lot of companies will ship via Canada Post, and we do as well. Canada Post has no way to collect and remit those tariffs at this point. They're still working on it as of today, and literally at 6 o'clock today, I was receiving emails and messages from brokerage companies and small courier companies who will bring packages across the border. So, weirdly enough, there wasn't a lot of upfront stuff that we could do. All we could do is try to talk to brokers and shipping companies, and they ghosted us in a lot of cases.
What are you telling customers right now?
What we've had to explain to customers is that in the U.S., our American customers are super valued. We really appreciate them. And unfortunately, we've had to raise prices and put tariff fees on what we sell because we cannot absorb those tariffs. In the yarn world, tariffs are based off of where the yarn is spun. So our tariffs personally for my company range anywhere from 15% to 30%. And even on Canadian-made yarn, which we do sell, the challenge of getting it across the border is massive. And companies are not set up to ship products that actually fall under the trade agreements. So technically no tariff.
What sort of action or support would you like to see from levels of government, be it Ottawa, perhaps from the Alberta government?
That's a tough one because really what we need is for them to help facilitate for shipping companies to be able to get the documentation they need. I mean, honestly, if there was anything and something that we could do to remove those tariffs, we would love that. But in the meantime, if there was some sort of help with the procedures, with the costs of it, that would really help offset businesses, or even something that could just promote us more within Canada. Because we're all shifting to Canada. I, in fact, started doing that about 5 years ago, but that doesn't change the fact that the U.S. is a much larger market and we need help accessing it.
Caroline Sommerfeld, founder and CEO of Ancient Arts Fibre Crafts. We appreciate your time and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.